The administration may hand out green cards to 4,000 illegal migrants. 4,000 per year get green cards if they've been in this country for 10 years and if they have a legal relative. Congressman Pat Fallon, Republican from Texas, joins me now. Forget it for a moment about the green cards. What about the 8 million that are already here? They're not going away. Should we let them work?
Well, Stuart, Joe Biden has amnesia about those 8 million that have crossed the border illegally under his watch. And no, they shouldn't be able to work here. They shouldn't be here in the first place. Because what's going to happen is it's going to follow on. There's just going to be 8 million more in the next couple of years.
But what are we going to do?
Unless, of course, President Trump.
So we've got to house them, feed them, clothe them, educate them, healthcare-wise. They've got to get all of that indefinitely because they're not going away.
Well, they should be. Federal law says, the Immigration and Nationality Act says that you will be detained once, and you won't be released or deported until we determine what your status will be in this country. Well, and Joe Biden has just released him. He's not following federal law. We're supposed to be a rule of law nation. And Stuart, there's an inexhaustible supply of folks that have a desire to come here. And if we coddle the folks that come here and cross the border illegally, we're just going to get more and more, and the problem is going to be exacerbated, and it's not going to wane.
I just don't see how we're going to have to pay for all of this. I mean, if we put the number at 8 million, that's 8 million people that we're paying for year after year, week after week after week. And I don't see any solution to this other than letting them work so we don't have to support them.
Well, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, Stuart, says it costs $155 billion for all these folks when they cross. But again, I hearken back to, I don't want to reward people that break our laws. I think that should be deported. It's very difficult to deport that many people, of course, but they shouldn't be allowed. What Joe Biden should do immediately, Stuart, is reinstitute Wait in Mexico, where you will be, your case, well, while it's being adjudicated, you will wait in Mexico. That will stem the tide by 70%, but he refuses to do this. And now he's going to have to own this, and I think it's going to hurt him. It's probably going to cost him the election in November.
You think this is the key issue that Biden loses with?
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt in my mind.
And you don't think he will do anything before the election to stop the flow?
We handed it to him on a silver platter. Speaker Johnson and the House Republicans were begging him to reinstitute Wait in Mexico, and we'd be willing to compromise on other things that he wants. And he just absolutely refused to. It boggles my mind. And what he's done is made every state a border state.
If it's a losing issue for Biden, and I think it is, why does it continue down this path? Why does it not do anything about it at all?
My theory, to be quite frank, Stuart, is Joe Biden isn't the Joe Biden he was 15 years ago, even 10 years ago. And his staff is running the show, and they are left of even what he was politically. And so they're just continuing to cater to that far left element within the Democratic Party that truly wants open borders. And I find it interesting that they have these sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, but they're not putting anybody up. And once we have illegals en masse that go to these cities, they want to get rid of them. And not one of these folks making this kind of policy or ignoring the law houses illegal immigrants in their homes. So they're complete hypocrites.
You're right. Congressman Pat Fallon, thank you very much indeed today. Very difficult subject to talk about, but we got to talk about it. Pat Fallon, thanks very much, sir.
Thanks, Stuart.